Oh, why did this not update? And it's the old title. I think it should be good now. What's up, Crockback? Yeah, I know I'm late. What's up, Crockback? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little late. I'm a little late. In my defense, anyway, yeah, so we're here today. We're here. We're hanging out. I was thinking today, because I was deliberating what I wanted to talk about today. That's really why I was kind of late. And I was thinking, well, I want to talk a little bit about the, you know, this whole Joe Kent saga. What's up? What's up, Chris? How's it going, dog? Like the chill mode music? Yeah, you know, a little bit of jazzy lo-fi. I just need some background music that's not going to get me copyright striked, you know. I was thinking of talking about the Joe Kent development. I'll talk a little bit about it, but I think I'll save that for Friday because I want to lay it out a little bit more cleanly, so I'll, you know, develop the thoughts a little bit more. But the gist is, and I was talking to my dad yesterday about this very thing before, in the afternoon, even before Nick went live, and it's like, the gist is this: Joe Kent, if you've been around, you know who this guy is. You know, shout out to JoeKentIsCIA.com. The guy disavowed Nick pretty much out of nowhere, advocated for inclusive populism, and his big problem with Nick and America First was that it was too pro-white and too Christian. And he advocated for something more kind of ethnically ambiguous, you know, multi-class, inclusive, what is it? Inclusive populism was his term. And so this guy is just not really our guy. Sort of the same milieu as Tucker, and you know, Tucker is connected to Vance, who's connected to Thiel, so they're in that network. Put it succinctly. That is their patronage network. That is Joe Kent's patronage network. And I think that the timing is very suspicious because really up until like a year ago, Joe Kent was like, was pro-Israel ostensibly. Same with like Tucker, same with a lot of people. They were that's it, pro-Iran, I mean pro-Israel. And so now when it doesn't really matter anymore, now when we are in the war, whether we like it or not, you know, it's a moot point. Your opinion on Israel, on Iran doesn't really matter anymore at this point because we're in it. We're in it. We've dug ourselves in this hole. And so it's very suspicious that now that, you know, it's inconsequential, you see these people that are now taking the stand against Israel, you know, in many ways against Trump. And I think it is purely self-serving. And I think, obviously, this is a play for the 2028 election. I'm not sure exactly what Joe Kent's plans are, but I'm sure he has bigger ambitions than being the, what is it, the counterterrorism. What was his official title? Yeah, the counterterrorism, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center. Which, you know, how important is that position really? And again, I think that it is very much a tactical play. For the same reason that Vance is not saying anything. He's been very quiet throughout this war because he knows it's extremely unpopular and he's between a rock and a hard place. And I think what's going on is I think that what we're seeing, this rift between like Mark Levin, on the side of like all the ultra-Zionist Jews like Laura Loomer and Ben Shapiro, and they're piling on against like Tucker Carlson and Joe Kent and you know, some of these other guys that are sort of dissenting. I think this is like a personnel factional war within the intelligence community over the bureaucracy. And a lot of this information, I truly believe we're just not privy to. I think that this is going on in many ways behind the scenes, and it's about personnel. It's about who gets to, whose guys get control over the kingdom. And so I don't think that the divide is like as ideological as some people believe. Like, I don't like, for example, I don't think Tucker is, kissing Jewish ass the way somebody like Ted Cruz or Mike Huckabee is. Like, I don't think he subscribes to the evangelical heresy. I think it's much more about prioritization. And I think it's much more about which patronage network really has influence over the government. Is that going to be like the Levin and the Adelson patronage network, or is that going to be maybe more Thiel, JD, Silicon Valley? And I think that's one of the reasons why, Tucker and Joe Kent seem to be bending over backwards to not make this an issue about like Jews, but it's about Israel. It's about Netanyahu. I'm not anti-Semitic. I love Israel. I think that has a lot to do with it. Crimson Desert. Yeah, Crimson Desert tomorrow. I will be streaming it tomorrow. Just a nice little reprieve. I'm excited. I personally listen to lots of different types of music, like 80s Japanese jazz. Nice. Inclusive populism sounds like watered down messaging. It is. It's classic limited hangout. And this is, I think, the reason why I think this is happening now is because they are positioning themselves for 28. So that in hindsight, they could say, well, I oppose the war. Joe Kent could say, I oppose the war. Look at my letter. This is dated 2026. They're getting ahead of it. This is the next skin suit. This is the next limited hangout. This is the next MAGA. This is the next Tea Party. They're trying to sound just like Nick without the essence of what Nick is about. They're trying to sound just like America First without the core tenets of America First. How can you really say you're America First if you're not pro-white and pro-Christianity? Like, that's kind of, interracial, multiracial inclusive populism. Yeah, that's just such a softer position. And look, Tucker said it himself. He's against identity politics. Okay, gotcha. And that's insulting because it's like, dude, do you see what is happening to us? Do you see like what is happening to the white people? Like, this is do or die. This is like, we are fighting for the existence of our people, our civilization, not to be dramatic, but, and somebody like Tucker is saying, I think that's evil. I think that's evil. Everybody else is advocating for their collective racial interests, but if white people do that, then you take that to the most extreme straw man example. It's like the Nazis. It's like, it's totally evil. It's like fascist. Meanwhile, you've got like Black Panthers, you've got Jewish chauvinists like Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Laura Loomer that literally have Trump's ear. But yeah, white people advocating for their own interest is evil. Oh, I'm against all kinds of yeah, okay, except like they're not all the same. They're not all the same. And ultimately, it's a reality that identity politics is real. It's human nature. So, you can wish cast this, you can wish it away, but it's not going anywhere. People are tribal. It's in our nature. So that's how you know these people are not on our side. They can sound so much like us in many ways. And people negotiate with themselves. They say they're dog whistling, they're hiding their power level. It's like, okay, here's rule number one. If somebody's a good actor, if somebody's intelligent and they're hiding their power level, then they understand their position in the pipeline. They understand that, like, okay, maybe I'm not going to go 100% of the way there, but Nick will, or and they understand the pipeline. So what that means is you don't punch to the right. You don't counter signal, and you don't disavow the people that you're trying to lead people to, if that is truly your intention. Like, if you're not canceled on like YouTube or whatever, like if you're I don't know, I can't think of a good example. Like, take Alex Jones. For a long time, he wouldn't touch that third rail, but he would still platform Nick. And maybe who knows if there's anything deeper than that, but he wouldn't disavow Nick. That's important. That is like such a vote of confidence for who Alex Jones is. But so when you see somebody like Tucker Carlson or Joe Kent disavow the very like idea, the ideology, not even just Nick himself, okay, but like the essence of what the America First movement is about, that's how you know these people are not your guys. Folding under literally zero pressure. That's not hiding your power level, that's cucking. That's counter signaling, actually. So don't like negotiate with yourself. Like, no, Joe Kent is not based. No, Tucker Carlson is not based. Either, and don't get me wrong, they're good developments that they somewhat feel obligated to do this, to still be politically relevant. But that's exactly what this is. This is political expediency. They're trying to stay relevant, and they're positioning themselves for future elections to stay relevant in 2028, especially when it's going to be JD Vance and whoever else running for the presidency. That's what they're playing for. But a lot of dumb goy think that like, oh, Joe Kent suddenly had an epiphany. Really? You didn't have an epiphany 4 years ago when you could have done something about this, but now here we are. So what's up, SSB? How's it going, dog? If they weren't pro-Israel, they would try their hardest to never name them. If they weren't pro-Israel, they would try their hardest to never name them. Not sure. Maybe I'm misreading that. I just arrived. Can you give a recap? Thanks. Yeah, Joe Kent sucks. Joe Kent sucks, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this on Friday. I just want to kind of lay it all out a little bit cleaner. Maybe even type something up. Who knows? But he is a part of the Patronage Network, and we'll see what kind of role Joe Kent plans on playing in the future. But I really doubt that this is the last we're going to see of him. I don't think the intent of this is to simply do a podcast and book tour. I think there's a little bit more to it than that. So Vance knows that if you keep quiet on the internet, the problems go away. He probably has someone who knows how the sector sphere in online blood sports works and taught him to keep his mouth shut. I don't even think it's like necessarily blood sports on the internet. It's just like optics. It's like optics 101, politics 101. It's like you don't want to be attached to bad news. You don't want to be attached to a failing administration, to a disaster, a catastrophe. It's like he's clearly distancing himself from all of that. And Vance is making a mistake being quiet. Well, he's between a rock and a hard place, right? Like he doesn't want to go hard against Trump because, and I think that's part of the reason why, and Nick talked about this last night, why like even in Joe Kent's disavowal of the war in Iran, he didn't blame Trump. Like he didn't lay the blame on Trump. Again, it's Trump's advisors, and it's so I don't know if they think that maybe that's a calculated decision. Maybe they still want the Trump endorsement. They don't want to completely sever themselves from MAGA. They still want to tap into that demographic, the MAGA voters and all that. But yeah, I think we're just so past that point, man. Like, again, like, who else are you going to blame for this, dude? Like, who else are you going to blame? So he doesn't want to lose the Trump endorsement. He doesn't want to piss off the, like, Israel firsters. But he also, at the same time, knows the way the winds are blowing. He also knows what the base wants and what is popular and what's unpopular. And the war is not popular. You know, Israel is unpopular. So I think he's banking on just like gaslighting people. Unironically, he'll say, well, behind the scenes, I was really against the decisions. he'll try to ride the line. That's my prediction. He'll say something needed to be done about Iran. I don't agree with how we did it. Something along those lines. He'll try to play both sides. They'll try to placate the Israel lobby and say, well, Iran was a problem and I'm glad we chose to do something. However, and this is how he'll placate the America First movement, the America Firsters, she'll say, but I don't agree with how we did it. You know, it was messy, it was rash, we made some mistakes along the way. And, you know, Trump had the vision, but there were issues in the administration we couldn't agree with. I promise to resolve that. I think that's the stance he's going to take. I think that's the best they're going to be able to do, something along those lines. So. There was an ancient Chinese emperor who was invading some tribe and it was going badly. The number 2 kept quiet and ended up backfiring as their own people turned on all the leadership. Well, and that's, yeah, I mean, that's the risk that JD Vance is playing. It's like he can say that, but the obvious rebuttal is like, well, bro, you were vice president. What did you do? What did you do to fix the situation? Like, what can he fucking say? Bro, you were the vice president. Hello? Why would we think things would be any better under you? What do I think of Joe Kent? I don't like him. Untrustworthy Fed. Joe Kent stepping down is... Oh, shit, I just dropped my ink bottle. Okay. Joe Kent stepping down is the equivalent of taking out an IRGC leader, in your opinion? I mean, it's kind of inconsequential, ultimately. I think it's just an optics move. I think somebody like Joe Kent is, as far as they're concerned, expendable. Apparently now FBI is launching an investigation on Joe Kent about him leaking info. Yeah, I saw that. Interesting. Don't have a lot of information on that. I just heard that. Might have to wait for... Well, I wonder if the New York Times has anything. Because that was like, I saw that break like an hour ago. So I might have to wait a day for a little more info before I pass judgment on that. Yeah, who knows? Again, I probably part of this sort of personnel internal crisis going on. This little tug of war. So I think I'll talk about that on Friday in greater detail. Try my age here, but I used to watch Alex Jones like 15 years ago. I stopped watching after he went full Trump-tard, and his show was nothing but advertisements. What, you don't like Turmeric 95? It's a 360 win. You gotta get the methylene blue for peak energy for your mitochondria. You need the Brain Force Ultra. It's packed with all kinds of nootropics for elite cognitive performance. You're telling me you didn't like that? You're telling me? No, like, yeah, I mean, look, I love Alex Jones, and I've been critical of him in the past, but first of all, how can you hate Alex? How can you hate the guy? He's just like, to me, he seems so earnest, and he's just such an entertainer. And again, like, throughout all of that, he was still platforming Nick, you know? They had a couple back and forths, but ultimately, look, they're like 2 peas in a pod now. Some of my favorite content is when Nick goes on Alex, and Alex is calling out Israel now. I think Alex, God bless him, I think he really wanted to believe in this whole thing, wanted to believe in Trump. I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people maybe overestimate the power of hopium. Literally. And because what is the alternative? If Trump is a traitor, think about how fucked we are. Which we are. Like, think about how much worse the situation really is if Trump is like just a nothing or a traitor. If he doesn't hold up to any of his promises, then like it's 10 years wasted, and it's 10 years of this country moving in the opposite direction it ought to be going in. It's 10 years of like unfettered immigration. 10 years of more visas, of economic decline, of useless well, I shouldn't say use, not to us, they're useless, but 10 years of foreign conflict on, you know, for the sake of Israel. So like for a lot of people, that's a really, and for everyone, I think it's a difficult thing to deal with. I don't know, Marathon. Joe can't go what he deserves. This is such an obvious attempt to skin suit and wear the America first while sidelining Nick. 100%, 100%. And I'm glad that pretty much everybody is clocking that. It's really only the new frogs that weren't around for like Joe Kent is CIA.com that think this is like turbo based and a great develop. Like it's in a meta way a good thing that he feels compelled to do this, that he has to do this to be relevant. But Joe Kent is not our guy. He is not based. A lot of those people are still people that like Tucker, you know, it's like you gotta not gonna make it, bro. So yeah, no, 100%. They're trying to skin suit America first. They're attempting to render Nick redundant and irrelevant. If, you know, why would you listen to Nick Fuentes if you have Nick Fuentes at home and it's fucking Joe Kent or Tucker? And it's like, there have been many attempts, but you know, Nick just has, in his own words, unmatched purse capacity. So he's not going anywhere. No marathon stream, what happened? Well, yeah, I said I might do one, but yeah, just I just had a headache all day. But I will be live tomorrow. That's on Groiper. I will be live tomorrow for Crimson Desert, which releases, I think, at 5 p.m. Central. And then I'll probably transition to a little marathon. But by the time I like got on my computer, it was already like 9 o'clock, and I thought Nick would go live. So I'm like, shit. Well, I don't want to go live for 30 minutes and have, but that he didn't go live for till 11:40. So I was like, well, I probably could have gone live, but whatever. Anyway. I will be live tomorrow. Early. That's on Groiper. That's going to be completely different. I'm just going to be gaming tomorrow. Because, you know, I like to mix it up. I like to have fun too. Can't all be politics. Like, you'll fucking want to peel your skin off if all you do is talk politics. So I figured I'd just hang out tomorrow. Anyway. Just arrive recap, please. Joe Kent bad. Joe Kent fed. Joe Kent me no like. Me no like Joe Kent. Joe Kent asshole. Asshole liar politician Joe Kent. There's your recap. All politicians are psychopaths, even if you are a government trained killer, especially actually. Here's the thing about the CIA, which a lot of people, I should probably stop saying that, but the thing is about the CIA and the FBI is they literally select for sociopaths. If you were to take like an entry exam, they are selecting for people who are like not going to ask questions, who are going to follow their supervisor to the T. They will report they will rat out their teammates in a heartbeat. Yeah, they are looking for like total freaks. So I heard like this one person today try to make the argument that like, yeah, most people in the FBI and the CIA are actually good people. It's the people at the top. No, actually, no. Most of these people are actually scumbags. They're like not cool people. Every once in a while, maybe you'll get somebody that like follows their conscience, but they are literally selecting for sociopaths. So no, these institutions need to be cleaned out from top to bottom, as far as I'm concerned. Marathon? Yeah, the game Marathon, yeah. Which I think is phenomenal. I've been having so much fun with it. A lot of people are shitting on it because they're NPCs and, you know, can't form opinions for themselves. But it's a really fun game if you're into like PvP, like an FPS PvP extraction shooter, and if you have two friends to play with, at least. Otherwise, you could probably still have fun, but it'd be harder to recommend if you're not into that kind of stuff. So like if you're like a fan of Apex, it'd be right up your alley. or like a lot of other, like even if you're a fan of like Arc Raiders, I think you might like it. Anyway, great game, great game. I'm kind of addicted, honestly. Good to play on stream. No, I'll stream Marathon. I'll probably stream it tomorrow because I'll be playing Crimson Desert, and then I know one of my friends are gonna want to play Marathon. You know, so whenever my friend pops on, then I'll get my other friend in, and we'll probably play. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, this is totally off topic, but as far as like the streams go, I'm just gonna like split up the streams like that because I think that confuses YouTube to have like two vastly different topics and categories in one stream on YouTube. It might be better to just like, you know, if I ever do that in the same day, if I ever yap politics, reaction stuff, and then do gaming stuff, I would probably end the stream on YouTube and then start a new one. You know what I mean? But no, I'm just yapping now. Marathon. Melo got upset skills for sure, but Marathon? What are we talking about? Upset skills, I don't know what that means. Marathon's a good game. I'm telling you. The aesthetic, maybe not something everyone can appreciate. It's definitely an acquired taste, but gameplay is peak. I'm telling you, it's peak. Peter Thiel is running an op to save JD Vance for the next election. David Sachs also told Trump to wrap up the war, but he didn't resign. Yeah, they know where the winds are shifting. They know this is going to be a huge fucking problem for them in 28. So. Like, everybody's pissed at this, about this, except for, like, literally the Zionist Jews. Silicon Valley's pissed about this war. You know, the finance, you know, on the other side, on the East Coast, they're pissed off about this war because the global economy is in the fucking gutter. So, yeah, and the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be. So, buckle up. I take turmeric, but with a massive stack of vitamins. Props for him standing up on free speech. Yeah, true. W. Alex Jones. Trump is getting set up to hold a bag of shit. Set up by whom? Himself? He signed up for this shit. Fucking retard. Fucking idiot. Fucking dumbass. Hey, you sold out your countrymen so you can, like, keep your real estate and not go to prison by the people who you probably should have put in prison in your first term. Yeah, like, he did this to himself, ultimately. It's a time of choosing. He chose wrong. He can't buy his way into heaven. Yeah, he's cooked, man. I think Trump is not going to make it. I'm convinced Trump is hell-bent on destroying Iran. Maybe it's blackmail. Maybe it's some kind of spell. Maybe he converted. Maybe all of that. But I don't believe he will stop at anything. It's one of those cases where, dude, I really hope this is Taco. You know, I know typically we hate Taco. Because it's like he tacos on immigration and like deportations and whatnot. But I really hope that he tacos on this one. But we'll see, man. I hope I think we both hope that you're wrong there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It just seems like, because look, the reality of it is, like, the US is just between a rock and a hard place. Capitulating now would be a diplomatic disaster that, you know, that would really shake confidence in our security apparatus around the world. We've already tanked so many diplomatic relationships, and I think a lot of people would throw up their hands and say, so what was all this shit for? What was the point of all this? And Trump has now, like, 24 times declared victory in the war, yet it still wages on. So it's sort of like a boy who cried wolf situation. Are people really going to believe it? Are they going to believe him? Or are we going to be right back to where we are some few months down the line? It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. And of course, escalation is not desirable either. Escalation's obviously worse. Like the best case scenario is that we capitulate, we pull out. And that would be the best. Escalation is by far the worst. And I think that can really come in three forms. Boots on the ground, which likely won't be successful, because look at Iraq, and that was a much smaller, less industrial, poorer country. Okay, so that's unlikely to work, although it is on the escalation ladder. Using nukes, that would play really well. Yeah, that would get the world on our side, totally. That won't get everybody to fucking hate us if we nuke Iran. Or, you know, we hit their infrastructure, like their desalination plants and their energy, which we kind of already are. And we just turn off the lights and the water and starve the people out. And then you have Gaza 2.0, except instead of like, what, 3.5 million people, we're talking 90 million people. And there's no way you could ship in water to hydrate 90 million plus people. So you're talking about a Holocaust. That's what you're talking about. So like all these outcomes are bad because we made a bad move by putting ourselves in this situation. But best case scenario, we just pull out and capitulate and try to save face and just cut our losses. So I use mostly Garden of Life products, expensive, but they are made to be bioavailable. What does that even mean? Bioavailable? What the fuck? Bioavailable? What is that? Are you one of those like fitness people that we should be making fun of? You know, food is like fuel for your body. You're only as healthy as the fuel you put into your body. I only consume bioavailable vitamins. Always bet on Mexican time when it comes to Nick. Yeah, I guess when it comes to being on time, me and Nick, like, I get it. I get him. I'm also chronically late to everything. It's just a struggle. If you don't get it, you don't get it. We all have our we all have our deficiencies. CIA is the most retarded, most sophisticated at the same time, and working together. Cult-like behavior. Yeah, the CIA is yeah. You get some super geniuses and you get some total mediocrities in there. I mean, that's kind of the bureaucracy, you know? That's kind of government. You get like a handful of super geniuses that get scouted, and then a whole bunch of mediocrities. So, Trump should put Larry Loomer in charge of the CIA. Yeah, well, he's pretty much already in charge of personnel. NBC here, I want MAG. MAG, that's a deep pull. Yeah, I remember MAG. I never played that. I didn't have a PlayStation. 256 players. That game was ahead of its time. Kind of reminds me of PlanetSide 2, if you ever played PlanetSide 2. That was a fun game. But they never really capitalized on the potential. Separate streams make sense. It's between Iran and a hard place, not Iraq and a hard place. Good one. That was a good one. Taco a bit late, but I'll take a Taco Supreme, declare victory, and run. True, true. Sad times, but Taco Bell is trash now. Dude, remember the Crunchwrap Supreme? I remember when that... Man. That changed the game for me. When I was a young lad when that came out. I think, isn't it a permanent staple there now? Isn't it like the only thing worth getting? Crunchwrap Supreme? I remember that being bomb. Absolutely just fire. But yeah, I haven't eaten at Taco Bell in years. I blame Speaker. My free show isn't giving me good options. That's crazy. That's crazy. If body can't digest the vitamins, they're only like 50% or less effective. Is that what bioavailable means? Del Taco is where it's at. I used to get OIC on the 256 player mode. You can open mic over 100 players on headset. Yeah, back when like games weren't like so heavily moderated, so you could just be like, say whatever you want. I was always well mannered, honestly. I was never the one on Xbox Live like dropping N-bombs and shit. I was always well mannered. I remember when I was I was playing Halo 2 on the original Xbox. I was a wee lad, and you know I was in like lower school. I was tiny, and I remember you know like me and my friends were really dumb joke. I don't like you know I was like what was the joke? It was like shot my butt to Pizza Hut in 1989. And I thought, me and my friends thought that was the funniest thing. And I said that on mic. And then like some guy was like, is that like a kid or something? And I was like, I never talked on the mic again for like 10 years. I was like mortified. I was like, oh. The little dose of reality. Oh shit. Is that a little kid? Is that a little kid? What's a little kid doing playing Halo? I was like, never talked again. Never talked again for like 10 years. That was enough for me. That was enough. That was enough humiliation. Anyway. The problem is kind of resolving itself. We have seen ships go north in the Strait of Hormuz and hug the Iranian coast. They must be making deals. The Houthis did the same thing. Yeah, we'll see. And look, a lot of it depends on whether or not America takes Karg Island. And then what happens? Are we going to stop all of the Iranian crude oil exports out of Karg? How do you think China's going to react to that? Like, that is the next step, is that we fuck with their shipments. We fuck with their economy like that. So, I mean, for the time being, but again, like, the only way forward outside of capitulation is escalation for America. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, so true. When's Papa Mello getting on stream? Maybe someday. Yeah, my dad, very based. He gets it. You know, we always talk about Nick's show and stuff. We speculate. Based Papa Mello. Yeah. France and Italy have open talks with Iran to negotiate safe passage for their ships to the Strait of Hormuz. Everyone will make independent deals. This is why running away isn't so bad. Yeah, and I think, look, and think about how that looks for America. Like, think about how much of a diplomatic failure that is. Not only did we piss off all these countries months before by insulting them to their faces, then we call for them to assist us militarily by escorting ships through the strait. Nobody, literally nobody responded, left them on red. And now they're just going to circumvent America entirely and just make deals with Iran. It's like, so literally we're being boxed out. We're being boxed out of the global equation. This is what, like, this is the cost of the war that I hope people are beginning to understand. They're just not going to fuck with us anymore. And especially if we're diminishing our military power, they won't need to fuck with us anymore. Because, like, what is the biggest guarantee of our empire? What is the biggest thing backing our dollar? Our power. It's our military. It's our military might. And if that is being diminished, and or if that will be embarrassed, if we are revealed as a paper tiger, then think about how that's going to change the dynamic between America and all these other countries. They'll just cut out the middleman. And that'll be very bad. That has been very bad for us. So, looking at that game, you'll understand why I can't play these new games. Mag? Oh, yeah, I remember looking into it back when it came out. But again, I didn't have a PlayStation, so. Watching crude oil price over the span of this conflict has set in stone the fact that I don't understand markets. Well, they're releasing oil reserves to help alleviate some of the costs. If that's what you're referring to. But, you know, things happen around the world and then people react, right? So it's like, not all of the oil, the 20% of the world's oil goes through the Strait. Obviously, you have another 80% of the world's oil. And so other countries can increase their production to meet the uptick in, or rather the decrease in supply. And so there's sort of a lag, because you can't easily make up for 20% of the world's oil supply. There's a lag in the price, but in theory, it's one of those things where, you know, there can be some, what's the word I'm looking for? Relief. At least to some degree. Because, and, you know, keep in mind, these are crude exports. But, you know, a lot of Iran's oil, at least Iran's oil, is still, for the most part, making it through. But that's mostly crude that's going into China, because China, it's really only China and, you know, it's like China, what is it? Is it 15%, 20% of their oil is, they buy from Iran, I believe. I think it's about 20%. Somebody fact check me on that. What percentage of China's crude that they get from Iran? I believe it's 20. I could just do it myself. Oh, it's about 13%. Probably a little over. But they buy about 80% of Iran's crude, so worth like, I think like $300 billion, like a $300 billion contract with Iran over the next, I think, decade or so. I don't remember the exact number. So that's a lot of money, and that's like a big portion of your supply chain that you now have to figure out. United States did the same thing to France to end the Revolutionary War. 13 colonies made an independent deal with England. Louis XVI wanted a joint peace treaty for max gains. Some Mexicans are dumping their plaster in the desert at the end of my street. I'm about to call the city. Yeah, get them deported. Yeah, deport their ass. Don't you fucking hate that when like people just litter? Dude, that fucking sends me, man. When people just dump their trash on the fucking that's just like, I don't, you know, that just sends me. Oil is going to spike, and it's going to be, at one time, oil is a global commodity. I just figured oil reserves are priced in like every other market. Call INS. I have no idea how Iran energy sector survived today. It's sort of like if America were to completely destroy Iran's energy sector, then they're also dealing a blow to China. And if they deal a blow to China, how do you think China will respond? China will retaliate in some way. And so that, like, it balloons into a much bigger problem. So that would be like one of the reasons why America ought to show restraint, is because if they escalate this, it's not an isolated conflict. It's a regional one, and it will quickly balloon into a global one. So that's sort of the short reason why. And it's not like yet a total war. You know, total war implies that you go after softer targets. You go after civilian infrastructure, industry. It starts with military targets, and as things escalate, it goes on to industrial targets, and then, you know, softer targets even beyond that. You go after energy, you go after production, things of that nature. And desalination would, if they cripple the desalination, that would cripple the country. And yeah, they would kill a lot of people. A lot of people if they did that. Iran is 15 to 20 depending on when they buy it. Yeah, it's somewhere in that range. I anywhere from 11 to 20%, I think, is fair. The problem is Putin is hiking prices on China. China is big mad. Yeah, I mean, well, they're taking advantage of it. It's like, where are you gonna go to get your? Where are you gonna get your crude now from? Iran? Oh wait, you know, it's like, hey, that's called the art of the deal, bro. That's called the art of the deal. China, India, Korea, and NATO countries, some European countries, and again, on that note too, again, there is some interesting stuff going on with America and Russia and their energy alignment. You know, this big deal that went through. China's going to be refining American oil in Alaska. This big company called Novatek. This just went through last month, I believe, or maybe the start of this month. Huge deal. And I don't think that is. I talked about this before. But I think that is indicative of something greater going on between America and Russia. I think a recalibration of sorts. I think maybe a prioritization. America realizes it can't fight all of these wars between, you know, in Ukraine and Iran, and then eventually in the Pacific with Taiwan and China. So they have to prioritize which ones are they gonna ramp down. And I think Ukraine is the least. The lowest priority. And so I think that part of this is to sort of try and pull Russia a little bit further into our sphere of influence, try to, you know, have leverage on their energy sector that we can use against China if need be, by getting Russia more dependent. Like if we get in bed in terms of trade with energy, in the energy trade with Russia, then they'd be, just by nature of being business partners, they can be more influenced by America. So I think that's part of the calculus. But, you know, it's all of this is contingent. Things could change, but I have suspicions that that's where things are going to go. But I could be wrong. Things could change. China, India, Korea, and NATO countries. Some European countries rely on 60% from LNG oil in Bahrain, Oman, and some GCC country, I forget which, it was banned by Iran. Well, yeah, a lot of, you know, the Gulf countries are struggling to get their shit out. So I wish we can go back to simpler tech that wasn't watched over by AI slop. Brave new world, huh? In the 70s, oil shock was one. It's California, nothing happens. My dad's on the phone with them, so we'll see. That's keck. Support them. In the 70s, the oil shock was 10% of the supply, and that caused chaos. Now it's 20%. Yeah, and you know, like they were lining up in China to hoard gasoline at the pump. You saw that? So I don't know, man. I think we're in the global catastrophe, the global economic catastrophe as we speak. Hire them to litter on people you don't like. Yeah, and if those people complain, then just call them racist. Yeah, just hire your local YNs to, like, you know, play rap music outside your rival's home at 3 a.m. And if they call the city and complain, just call them racist. That's thinking in the big 26. That's thinking in terms of the future. That's forward thinking. China will back America if they start getting squeezed economically. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. right now, like I don't think either country is really prepared for what that would look like if they go to war with each other. Right, like it really is not in our interests nor China's interests to go to war with one another right now. I mean, think about how much our economy is tied up in China, and think about how much China's economy is tied up in America. Like our economy would probably grind to a standstill without Chinese imports. That's how we built things. We don't make stuff. We import our production, and you know we could probably. I think that's one of the reasons why they're trying to shift towards India and some of the other countries in South Asia, like Vietnam. But still, we are so heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing. That would be a big disruption in the supply chain, and yeah, a lot of like straight up a lot of American businesses, I think would struggle with that. I think it's artificially being held down. Not hard for markets and governments to collude through various avenues. What are we talking about? What's being held down? The oil market? I'm not sure what you mean by that. They're not Mexicans, they're saying people. Hennessy, Hegseth will drone them. And then, yeah, we'll watch it happen. Our based Twitter edit. Our based Twitter edit. We'll play some Claro over it too. It'll be so based and red pilled. And we'll have Gio Scotti dancing in the background or whatever. It'll be so based. So based. Have I ever seen the music video Holy Wars by Megadeth? No, I have not. I don't know how this helped. DXY goes up, which means manufacturing goes down. It's the opposite of what Trump wants. Trump wants whatever Netanyahu tells him to. Whatever Mark Levin tells him, you know, it's almost like a non-factor at this point. What even is that in the conversation? What Trump wants? It's like, I don't think he like what he wants is like not even like, who knows? I think all he really cares about is his legacy, himself, and whatever is best, what he thinks is best for himself. And yeah, oh she made them Muslims being on turf. Okay, I'm not even gonna read that. He walks up to tanks fresh off the assembly line and yells, "Throw some these on that." What the fuck are we talking? How do we get here? Hennessy Hegseth is funny, has a gold chain and dreadlocks. What? Okay. Golf is finished for at least a decade. We'll see. Yeah, it's not looking good though. It's not looking good. And look, again, there's a lot of money tied up in the Gulf. So if they pull their investments in America, I mean, think about what that'll do. It's like, what, $2 trillion? And that's in the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund. Something like $820 billion was wiped out of the US stock market today. Another $120 billion was wiped out from crypto. So you have almost $1 trillion that was just like people pulled their investments from. Golden age though, golden age. Golden age. It'll be a golden age. Yeah, you feeling it? Maybe that was a sign to buy gold. Maybe that's what he really meant. Maybe that's what everybody's doing. What is the price of gold anyway? What's the price? Let me look at it. What is this per? Almost $4,900. Is this per For what though? Gold spot price? Oh, per ounce. Okay. Hey, not bad. I mean, it's not like skyrocketing though. It's actually gone down a little bit. In like the past month. But over the past year, it's gone up a lot. This year, yeah, it's gone up like what is that? Like maybe like 60% increase in gold over a year. That's pretty good. That's quite a bit. 60% increase year over year. Shit. Maybe it's that time. Maybe it's that time. Time to start hoarding gold like a fucking never mind, like a goblin. You know? Don't touch my gold. Cutter energy shut down healing production. 30% of healing comes through the strait. Birthdays are over. Not the birthday parties. Truly. Why did nobody think of the quinceañeras that are going to be ruined because of the helium, because of the war? Thank you, Trump. All the quinceañeras are canceled. Mel, go buy a house in Dubai now. It's going to be... Yeah. Yeah. I'll buy an apartment in some high rise in Dubai. Yeah. I'm going to make an offer to Tucker's house in Qatar. He's going to jail anyway. Hey, that's smart. That's smart. That would be kind of funny if Tucker went to jail. I'm not going to lie. That would be kind of funny. Like, I know they're like our enemies are doing it to like kind of our other enemies, but you know, it's that is kind of funny. That would be kind of funny. Say what you will about Tucker. And I've said a lot about Tucker, but, and you know, he's not legit. He's an op. But he is one of the few that's really being outspoken against this war. So that's a W. Credit where credit's due. Even if it is for likely an ulterior motive. Off topic, but why are there as many as 25 to 30-year-olds going for spring break, and particularly from one group of people who don't attend school? Huh? Ian Miles Chung? Anyone check in on Ian Miles Chung? Here is me giving you real money. Oh, thanks. Ian Miles Chung got a full head of white hair in 5 years. Hitting the wall is understatement. What are you talking, bro? He was born on the fucking wall. Did you see his face? Are you hitting the wall? What are you talking about? There was no wall for him. He was already, he came out the womb past the wall. Buddy's face looks like a tuna melt. Are you kidding me? You're telling me this guy had anything like, oh no. You're telling me this guy. What wall are you speaking of? He was cooked to begin with. It was over from the jump. There was no wall. The wall for him was an illusion. In a bad way. Miles Chung is shilling Dubai right now. He likes Dubai. It's so safe while showing an empty nightclub with third worlders doing bottle service. Ugh. Cuba's gonna collapse any day. Watch spring break next year. Speaker hates when we have fun. True. Stop having fun. He's out of Mexican soda. What is this? What are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? What is this right here? Huh? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel silly? Price of Fort Knox? I don't know. 605. What? Like a woman on that special week. Be a captain of on a Ratchet Carnival cruise. Take them to the Strait of Hormuz. Gold is dropping. Yeah. Gold is dropping a little bit. Time to buy. It honestly, this is not financial advice. What's the price of platinum? I imagine it's probably running parallel with gold. Usually how it goes. Yeah, it's a little down too. Usually they're correlated. Pinche Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote. You take all precious metals, minerals, gas, and run just the medium long run. Yeah, I mean, it's probably, maybe it's too late to invest in like oil and gas now. I mean, did you hear it? Like Trump is opening that oil refinery in Texas, first one in decades, and he's doing it's through an Indian company. It's like, dude, are you tired of winning yet? Are you tired of winning yet? Yeah, we're gonna have an Indian company build or be contracted in some capacity to build an oil refinery for America. As if we couldn't do it ourselves. Like, is the intent for this refinery to like blow up? Is that what have you seen Indian engineering? What are we talking about here? Raped. Born to the wall, die by the wall. A flashbang wild goose's dog. I don't know what that is. Meanwhile, Chung looks like Thomas K. Jackson or Timothy B. Jackson from Resident Evil. Hard to say. Less than gold. Here's more free money. Chung should see Clavicular for advice. What is Clavicular gonna do for him, bro? What is Clavicular gonna do for him? He's gonna say sorry. He's gonna take. It's over for you, bro. Subhuman. He looks like special needs 4-year-old with dwarfism. Ugh. Look at the. Ugh. Okay, enough of this, man. None of these deals Trump is making are going to materialize. Hopefully it doesn't. It was announced. Maybe it won't go through. Yeah, Trump announced a $300 billion oil refinery project in Brownsville, Texas, backed by investment from India's Reliance Industries, the largest private energy company in India owned by billionaire Mukesh Ambani. Trump described the project as the first new U.S. oil refinery in 50 years and called it an historic deal critical to American energy dominance. The refinery is being developed by America First Refining and is designed to process 1.2 billion barrels of U.S. shale oil. Okay, at least it seems to be built by America First Refining. So I guess maybe they're just footing the bill and managing it. Still, I want nothing to do with Indian money. Flav is like Lightning McQueen in the beginning of the first movie. The little bit of Rusty's, you can look like me. Ka-chow. So true. Now, bro, like, Yeah, there's only so much you can really ascend. Oil markets are doing terrible, so announce a new deal. He thinks we are stupid. I mean, well, he announced a deal. It's with an Indian company, though. So it's like... And that you would think, okay, let's just think consequences here. If a major oil competitor is, like, shut down because of war, what is, like, the first thing you would think would happen? You would ramp up domestic production, right? And investment. Like, that is maybe one of the few silver linings of all of this is, like, ostensibly that would help the oil and gas industry. That might be the only... That and defense are probably the only industries that would benefit from this. And certain niche tech companies that could benefit from, like, government contracts, but that's about it. Everyone else is getting fucked. So that does sort of follow second order consequences. Clavel Cybertruck Chong. Vehicular, if you can hear us, please. Please. One more. That's all we ask. One more. Tucker can't be trusted. That being said, his interview with Kerry Prejean Bowler is exactly the content to aim at Fox News propagandized boomer, your mom. I feel bad for you, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man, when your parents are, like, totally blue-pilled. Fox News. Ugh, dude, Fox News sucks. I was listening to some of it today. It's just like... Yeah, these people don't know shit about anything. Yeah, the Iranians tried to assassinate Trump twice. Yeah, what's the source? Some guy in the CIA? Very convincing. I'm gonna need a little bit more than that if that is part of the justification for going to war with Iran and bombing them and killing all their leadership. Is some source. The CIA or the FBI said it was Iranian backed. Oh, convenient. Very convenient. See Manosphere documentary? No, I didn't. I did not see it. Where is that on, like, Netflix or something? Trying to red pill your parents is a never ending battle. Their brain resets every night. Yeah, dude. It's like either... Yeah. What can you say? I fucking hate talking to boomers, man. I've had the displeasure of talking to a number of boomers recently, and they're so, like, uninterested in what you have to say. They just talk at you. It's so, like, ugh. And, you know, they're nice enough people, but it's just like, dude, they're just, like, frustrating to interact with. So, like, yeah. Also, lining of Indian oil company deal is Indians in America self-cannibalized and can't manage each other. White managerial class enacted. Not how that works. It's just a caste system here in America. They'll just box white people out entirely, and then they'll just fight amongst themselves. It'll just morph into India, the way the Indian caste system works, just here in America. For the time being, it's a little more opaque. They'll team up against white people, but as more Indians come, it'll just reflect more and more like India. So, they don't fuck with white people. They all want to be white, but they are very resentful of white people. My dad asked me yesterday if I'd seen Nick with the cap point. I said that's slander, and it is it is what it is. I mean, it's true. It happened. It's old. You know? I mean, it is what it is. The Trump administration is considering deploying thousands of additional combat troops in the Middle East as the military prepares options for the next phase of the ongoing Iran war, one option being discussed for securing the Strait of Hormuz, includes deploying U.S. troops to the coastline of Iran. Sources tell Reuters. Yep. I hope this is just posturing. Is this a serious question? Is this bait? Is this bait? Is this bait? It has to be bait, surely, right? Have you catching up on chat and smooth transition? Oh, you know how we play. Whatever happened to Catboy? Veda with his magic is kind of scary. Probably just faded into obscurity. Yeah, you guys really don't give me enough credit. Do we even stoop this low? More like whores being whores. And water is wet. Oh, I saw this. The Pentagon has asked the White House to approve a funding request of over $200 billion for the war in Iran, according to the Washington Post. Golden Age. Golden Age. No new wars. President of no new wars. Oil analysts are saying they wouldn't be surprised if oil went to 200 or 250 a barrel. Who knows? Let's all bet on it. Let's all bet on it, Polly. Let's all bet on Wizard. Oh, dude, we live in hell. Yeah, B-52s, okay. Wait, what? What is this? What? Big Counter-Strike update? Oh no. Reloading has been refactored to encourage more— no, please. To encourage more careful consideration of the use of ammo. When you reload a magazine-fed weapon, all remaining ammo in the mag— This is worse than 9/11. So you just dump mags. This is my 9/11, boys. This is my 9/11. Is this live? Maybe it won't be that bad. Maybe it won't be that bad, but... oh, fuck. Dude. This has gone unchanged for 20 years, and they're fucking with this now. So essentially, the way it works up until this update, you had, like, let's take the AK, 30 bullets in your gun, 90 in reserve. If you shot 15 bullets, it would just take 15 bullets from your reserve and put it into your new mag. You're ready to go. Now it's going to dump the remainder of your bullets, and you're just going to have magazines. Like, a number of reloads you can do. Please tell me this is an early April Fool's joke. Maybe it won't be a big deal. Maybe it won't be a big deal. Maybe it won't be a big deal. It might not be a big deal, honestly. No e-girls. We have heard for at least a week of how they were sending ships to the Strait of Hormuz and still nothing. Who is they? I don't look forward to flying between unpaid TSA and fuel prices. It's going to be bad. You're just going to have to buy your tickets like 2 months in advance, bro. Mel, it's okay. Please don't go under your bed. Okay. I am killing myself right now in Minecraft. Did you see the power outage at Denver Airport? The airport is very occult. Yeah, I know about Denver. That's very creepy the way it was designed. The whole underground tunnels, the bunkers, the mural of like the apocalypse. That one horse statue that killed its sculptor, the red eyes. Like the demon horse. Creepy stuff. Could be predictive programming, power grid goes down, blame Iran, and send boots on the ground. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about, which, was it the, was it UK Mail? Some British, news outlet published an article talking about how they're, fearing, their fear over an impending Iranian cyber attack. You know, so yeah, I mean, predictive programming. They're talking potential drone swarm strikes. Who knows? But I really think that a false flag is imminent. Because how else are they gonna optically justify escalation? And I would just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. False flag happens. Patriot Act 2.0. Censorship. No anti-Semitism allowed. No criticism of the war allowed. Whatever, police state, everything is censored, everything is canceled, and then they escalate the war. It's just a matter of execution, I think. Scary stuff, man. Battlefield 4 is so bad I would smoke grenade headshots on small maps and use pistols. Damn. Battlefield 4 is good. It was really bad at launch, but it turned out to be really good. Demon Horse made me really uneasy when I drove past. Yeah, it's creepy, dude. It's fucking creepy. It's dark. Okay, hang on. Let me just... We'll take a quick break here. We'll take a quick break and we'll just... What is this, though? Map... What? Map guides and competitive matches? Wait, what? What? Map guides and competitive... You guys are not going to give a shit about this, but we get it. You could learn Smokes offline, but who has time? To help you pick up some new tricks, map guides can now be used during the first 5 rounds of the half in your competitive matches. Yo, that's actually so nice. It's gonna kill your FPS, but that is so nice. I hate learning Smokes. So now you can have a little overlay that shows you how to smoke certain things. All right, you know what? I must indulge real quick. Bear with me. I know it's not a gaming day, but I'm just gonna hang out while I yap. I'm just gonna check this out while I yap. I must investigate. I hope you guys understand. Okay. Let's see if it's in. Check reroom? Oh shit.
Let's get in and get out, okay? No time for bloody dilly-dallying about.
What's going on? What's going on? For the daily update. Yeah, what's going on? Stop vague posting. What, because of the daily recap? Or is it this? Israel, out of anger for what has taken place in the Middle East, has violently lashed out at a major facility known as South Pars gas field in Iran. A relatively small section of the whole has been hit. The United States do nothing about this particular attack, and the country of Qatar was in no way, shape, or form involved with it, nor did it have any idea that it was going to happen. Unfortunately, Iran did not know this or any of the pertinent facts pertaining to the South Pars attack and unjustifiably and unfairly attacked a portion of Qatar's LNG gas facility. No more attacks will be made by Israel pertaining to this extremely important and valuable South Pars field unless Iran unwisely decides to attack a very innocent, in this case, Qatar, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help or consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field at an amount of strength and power that Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I do not want to authorize this level of violence and destruction because of the long-term implications that it will have on this future of Iran, but if Qatar's LNG is attacked again, I will not hesitate to do so. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he's pretty much saying you're kind of like asking Israel to attack Qatar and blame it on Iran at this point. Are you not? You're kind of inviting a false flag. If this is like your response. If Iran attacks Qatar one more time, then we'll give everything Israel wants, even more. President Trump says that Israel attacked Iran's South Pars gas field earlier today without informing the United States or Qatar. He added that Israel will not carry out further attacks on Iranian gas facilities and warned Iran not to target gas and oil infrastructure in the Gulf states following Iranian strikes on major facilities in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Sounds like an excuse for escalation. That's what that looks like. Oh, dude, look at the 4 magazines. Three magazines. It might not be a big deal. You know, you probably don't reload that. You probably don't reload 4 times in a round. It might not actually have that big of an impact on gameplay, to be honest. Maybe I overreacted, but I'll give it a chance, but I don't know if I'm gonna like this. That's kind of crazy. I'm sure people are freaking out about this change, though. Alright, anyway. Sorry, I just had to get that out of the way. Let's read the recap. March 18th, day 19 recap. Israeli media says that according to latest estimates, Hezbollah still has several thousand short-range rockets. According to Israeli media, Iran's intelligence minister, Esmail Khatib, was the target of an assassination strike in Tehran last night. Israel's finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, has released a photo of his son in intensive care after he was wounded in clashes with Hezbollah. He can be seen on a ventilator. How can you load into a game without shooting at least once? Self-control. Self-control. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Clashes between Hezbollah forces and IDF soldiers are going after Hezbollah. A lot of yapping, man. Hatred system in southern Turkey. Interesting. Yeah, NATO is going to be a problem for Israel in the future. Namely Turkey. Israel attacked Iran's largest natural gas facility. You saw that? The US signed off on it. But apparently not. So this was published just before Trump. This was published. Seem to be conflicting reports on whether or not America knew about this Israeli strike. Seems like an excuse for plausible deniability. We'll see. Doobadoo. You ate pork tonight? Will the Haram police get you? Yeah, you better watch out. Don't tell Sneeko. Don't tell Sneeko about that. Iran targeted large Saudi oil facilities. Yeah, 800 billion was wiped from the US stock market. Yeah, rough, dude. Fucking rough. How much was wiped out since the start of the war? You know, 2.5 weeks ago. Anybody have that number? I could look it up, but I don't want to mess with the flow. Brent oil is over 111 per barrel, crude at 98. Yeah, you super chatted a song to Beardson. He didn't flame you. He liked the song. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, super chatting Beardson, not super chatting. Okay, I get it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I get it. No. Okay. All right. Whatever. I get it. All right. Yeah, apparently U.S. and Air Forces will provide troops. Israel provides intelligence. Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, Israel will provide intelligence. What is the intelligence? Bomb this. Invade this. That's our intelligence. This, you guys should really blow this up. That's great. Oh, Mr. Tesla. Okay. Oh, what did Nick tweet? Or, did you know that Joe Kent's current wife wrote for Maximum Flow Grayson website? Oh, that's Keck. These people are all CIA. It's crazy. Peter Thiel donates to Kent and Vance in 2022. Tucker promotes them both on his show. Tucker's son works for Vance. Tucker has known Thiel since 1992. Thiel is a CIA contractor. Tucker's dad ran USIA. Joe Kent became CIA in 2018. Vance was a Marine recruited by Thiel at Yale. After Kent loses, Tucker and Blumenthal retaliate against me with their Gray Zone hit piece calling me a Fed. Months later, Kent's new wife, Heather Kaiser, publishes a piece with Blumenthal in the Gray Zone. Blumenthal's dad, Sidney, was an intelligence mercenary. Blumenthal works with RT and Press TV. David Sachs calls for the war to end. Few days later, Kent resigns to JD Vance. Then appears on Tucker afterward. Sachs is PayPal Mafia, longtime associate of Thiel and Musk, close confidant of JD Vance, donated to Vance in 2022. Sachs has spoken alongside Tucker at Rockbridge Network, which created 1789 Capital, which funded Tucker Carlson Network. This is in a nutshell is what is happening. Don't believe any of it. So true, King. This is what people need to be obsessed with. Okay, this shit right here. You be a member on YouTube if you could. Yeah, I need more subs. So like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching. This is what people need to be obsessed with, you know? Like, instead of people being obsessed with whether a fucking video of Netanyahu is AI generated, therefore he's secretly dead, this just goes over people's heads, and they don't care about this shit because it's tedious. It's rigorous as well, and in many ways it's boring. And so like a lot of people don't find this interesting, even though this is the most interesting shit because this is real. This is real. This is verifiable. This is the connection. This is the patronage network. Like this is the thread that people should be pulling on. Like, follow this. David Sachs is an ass. He loves H1Bs. Dude, they all suck. Dude, Elon Musk loves H1Bs. Elon Musk is the biggest fucking... Like, it's just unbelievable. Like, he's so duplicitous. Like, Elon Musk spends half his day, like, vaguely talking about, like, white replacement, Western civilization, while also shilling for, like, infinite third world immigration into Western countries so he can get cheaper labor. Okay? Like, that's what these people fucking do. Like, weeding costs you $0, ultimately. But people think, like, oh, these people are based because, look, they're saying the right things. It's like... I don't know, man. I don't know. But, like, this right here, I think needs to be cemented. Like, Nick's expose on Tucker, Vance, like that. A timeline should be made. A connection. One of those visual aids should be built. I think I have one bookmarked that somebody made. All the connections between all the people and how and to which institutions. Stuff like that is very helpful. Because you just need to know who these people are, how they're connected. Because then you know whose interests are really being serviced. You know, whose interests are really being served and by these people and by the administration. It's all about the people. It's all about who. You know, who runs things. That's what matters. Anyway. But yeah, I think I'll probably go into it more on Friday. I think that's what I'll talk about on Friday. Unless anything else happens, I'll probably go a little bit more into it on Friday. I think that's what I'll talk about. But tomorrow, this will be I think the last thing I'll talk about. Then I'll get out of here. I think Nick is going live soon. I think Nick is going live soon. Wasn't the first super chat last night some grandma asking if it was okay to vote for Joe Kent now? Nick pulled out the bazooka. Literally fucking one-shot her. Literally, he fucking like flicked and one-tapped her. Didn't even check if it was a teammate or not. like literally. He didn't even check if it was team damage. He just flicked off screen and just one-tapped the grandma. Oh shit, friendly fire. I accidentally TK'd my teammate because he shot at me. That's what he did to that grandma. Yeah. Like, no, it's not okay to vote for Joe Kent. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, the Goyim are just meant to be fooled time and time again. If the fact that she's a grandma and she lived through Trump, she lived through the Tea Party, she lived through the GWAT, okay? Like, how many times can one person be fooled until you say, I'm not going to get fooled again? That's when you realize it's just, the Goyim are just meant to be tricked and fooled all the time, in perpetuity. They're just cooked, man. The Goyim have gone insane. Yeah, JD Vance is based. Yeah, were you red-pilled yesterday? Like, Nick hit it on the... And I know, maybe it wasn't him who coined it, but, like, people literally got red-pilled on Instagram Reels, like, last year. Like, think about that for a second. Like, that's, like, what we're dealing with. Like, I don't know. I never thought I would miss the 2 a.m. streams in like 2021. It's in like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm nostalgic. Maybe it's like rose tinted goggles, but it did seem like people were a little more in the know, you know? And I knew a lot less about it too, so I was absorbing as much as I could. Like, wow, look at all these ostensibly erudite people that know so much. There's so much I can learn from all this. And now, like, is maturing realizing those people were always retarded, or is there just an influx of retards, you know? Like, what is it? Because people literally get red-pilled, and then, like, a month later, they're super chatting the show, asking retarded questions. And it's like, if you get red-pilled, you gotta just lurk for, like, a year. Don't post shit. Your opinion doesn't mean shit, because you don't know shit. You just gotta lurk. You just gotta learn. And if you're still retarded at the end of that year, it's not meant to be, dog. Not meant. Politics not for you. Like, seriously. When I got red-pilled, I didn't talk about this stuff. There was a self-awareness. You know, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot I don't know. And frankly, there's still, like, I don't claim to know everything. I'm still learning every day. Nick is still learning every day. He'd be the first to admit that. But man, it's just like, some people just really overvalue or overestimate their knowledge. Dunning-Kruger effect in I shouldn't be so negative. It's tough because people don't even know, like, to be fair, it's like, they don't know where the iceberg ends. You know, when you first get red-pilled, you don't even know what to think, right? Like, your whole worldview collapses, and so I get it. Like, people don't even know where to begin looking for certain things, but I don't know. I think like, and I know this is like great idea. I honestly think like an FAQ section for Nick's show, maybe one of like whoever runs the back end, either Nick or one of his guys should literally just spend an afternoon and type up like an FAQ for all of the most frequently asked questions and have a response to it, maybe a couple links here and there to when either Nick responds to it or to like a source somebody can go for reading, a short list on books, because people always ask him that. Maybe even something on what is a good question even, you know? But that might, honestly, most people, what's sad is I make this suggestion, but something tells me most people aren't even gonna fucking read it. Most people are not even gonna fucking read it. And they're gonna ask the question anyway. And that'll just piss Nick off even more. Because if somebody super chats a question and it's answered in the FAQ, the crash out would be unbelievable. It would be fucking thermobaric. Can you imagine? He goes through the effort of making FAQ and like people don't read it and ask him the questions anyway. At that point, like, some people would probably just troll him, but maybe he should just have an intern filter through like all the low effort, low quality super chats. You know, maybe it's worth paying like an intern like, you know, $15 a night or whatever to do that. I don't know. That should be an intern project. The Jakey going mainstream is kind of whack. The normies suck. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the normies have always kind of sucked. The Generation Run brought in an army of tards. Lucas Gage told Nick he needed to clean out the tards, and he was right. Book recommendations. How to Red Pill Parents. Can you do the Jew voice more? Yeah, dude. It's like, you have to understand. It's like, dude, normies, they are like fickle. You just jangle keys in front of them. I mean, look at what's popular. Look at like some of the slop that people consume. It's like, you wonder why people are obsessed with AI, BBNet, and Yahoo. It's because like they think it's like a Netflix show. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. Do you think he's really dead? Do you think Netanyahu's really dead? What if Trump killed him? That would be crazy. What if Trump is secretly in control? It's like, dude, life is not a movie. Life is not a Netflix show, man. But people want to believe it's like a drama, a thriller. They wonder about the next episode. It's like, oftentimes things are a lot less interesting. They call it dramatization for a reason. Anyway. How do I super chat if I play a song? People popping off fireworks outside? Maybe Mossad is gonna get me. Oh, you ask. What was I thinking? What was I gonna say? Speaker's getting drone strikes. Imagine. Yeah, it's just. I guess. Do I live in Chicago? Yeah. That could be the answer. What was I gonna say? It just gets exhausting sometimes. But I guess, you know, I guess you just can't let it spike your cortisol. Rule number 1, have fun. Let's text to Nick. Yeah, I've got Nick on speed dial. That totally just dated me. Yeah, I've got he lives next door actually. Yeah, I live next door to Nick. He's just off camera, totally. But yeah, yeah, and a Mexican soda. Wait, as far as super chats go, do I not have a link in my description? Whatever. I'm not gonna pressure anyone to super chat. It's there. Whenever Speaker went to Texas, Nick went to do Joel Webber. Yeah. Interesting, huh? You got me. Okay. See, when is Nick going live? What time we think Nick is going live tonight? Let's see. It was like 11:30 yesterday. It's getting hot in here. Holy fuck, it's getting hot in here. Let's check this out real quick. Let's end on a fun note. Crimson Desert releases in less than 12 hours. No, sorry, not 12 hours. What time does it release? I forgot. Oops. What time does it release? Oh, 5 p.m. Fuck. Okay, never mind. Never mind. A little bit longer than 12 hours. But tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's right, yeah, 5 p.m. I'm going to be playing. So let's just check this out. Let's just check.
I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. Crimson Desert is one of the most remarkable games I think I have ever played, and I absolutely adore it. At this point, more than 60 hours in, probably more by the time this video goes up. It's
Wait, how many hours did he say?
Probably, and I absolutely adore it. At this point, more than 60 hours in, probably more by the time this video goes up.
I'm soy facing.
It's far from perfect, but I am so thoroughly impressed with it. I think its strengths far outweigh its weaknesses. It is.
Buy some bots to make them be following you until you unlock super chat. I can't do that. That's dishonest. I can't give India more money, you know? Then I'm just part of the problem then.
It's massive, it's complex, it's unapologetic in its lack of yellow paint and hand-holding, and it's filled to the brim with systems and ideas that keep you engaged for no doubt hundreds of hours. That's why I've titled this a work in progress review, because even now, more than 60 hours in, I still am probably 2/3 of the way through the main story, and God knows what percentage of the way through the open world activities and the side content. And that's because the side activities and the exploration is so thoroughly engaging. I find it difficult to focus on the main story because there's just so many secrets to be found out in that open world. It's so compelling that I just want to get...
This is just what the doctor ordered, you know what I mean? This is just what the like, I've just been... I've been like needing a game like this that I can just like sink my teeth into. I don't need a super compelling narrative, you know. I'm not expecting that. I've tempered my expectations. I don't expect it to be like, you know, perfect in every regard. I don't expect the best narrative of all time. I do expect really solid gameplay. I think the combat will be excellent. But I do expect a game that I can really just dive into. Yeah. Dude, some good food. Oh, we're eating.
Lost in it, and the game makes it easy to do that. At this point, I'm not totally sure how long it's going to take me to roll credits, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's well over 120 hours based on my current pace of progress, which is wild. Another way to say this is that it is exactly what it appeared to be in the trailers, for better and worse. And that means that some people are going to love it and it will be their favorite game of the last decade, but others will find it willfully obtuse.
This game looks like it came out in 2015. What are you talking about? With speakers, babe.
Confusing.
You think this game came out? Looks like it came out in 2015. Is that bait?
In this video, I'm going to explain to you.
Why is it so low? Hang on, I think that's YouTube fucking up. All right, that's just cap. That's just bait. I'm not even trying to like. Look, I'm trying to have a very tempered, reasonable expectation. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I don't think it'll be perfect. I don't think it's going to be maybe even a revolution. Like, it's not going to be revolutionary. I just think it's going to be a really solid game with a lot to do. All right? Trying to rage bait me.
What it is, how it works, no spoilers, of course, using footage from the first probably 30-ish hours of gameplay and the first couple of regions. So don't worry, I'm not going to spoil anything that I would have liked to experience myself with a first look, okay? So I'm going to be sensitive to those of you who are really excited and don't want spoilers, okay? I get you. I feel you, okay? I'll take care of you. But to put all of this really simply, Crimson Desert makes me feel like a kid again, playing Skyrim in my mom's basement. It's that sense of endless wonder and opportunity, the idea that you can look anywhere in this massive world and there's going to be something for you to find, whether it's in a cave, under a waterfall, or tucked up in a tree that looks weirdly flat at the top. In a word, it's freedom, this sense of endless possibility. And that's what Crimson Desert really, really nails. And that's what I love about it. But some people, I'm sure, are going to be frustrated by how open-ended it is, how unguided the game can feel at times, and how little it holds your hand. Crimson Desert basically...
All the dumb people, all the low IQ people are going to hate it, but the high IQ, all the high IQ people... Elite human capital are going to be loving it.
Gives you a pretty robust series of tutorials and walkthroughs for the first 10 to 15 hours. That means it's going to be
no wonder Smelly is counter signaling
for a lot of people, where they're just learning how this whole thing works. But then it opens up and lets you start exploring freely. And dude, I got lost, like truly lost. I spent like 15 hours just wandering around, having an awesome time. I found a puzzle that I literally used a note card to graph out which ways these pillars moved when I used this wheel versus that to solve the puzzle. I got fully immersed and I loved it. But I think that is exactly the kind of feeling that some people are going to hate. They're going to want the pop-up with the orange arrow pointing where to go and what to do next. And that's just not what this game is. And I love it for that. Some people will hate it for that. But that sense of exploration that I love so much is precisely why it makes me feel like a kid again. Just like back in the day when you're playing a game like Skyrim as a kid, there's going to be things that leave you confused. There's going to be puzzles that you struggle to get through. There's going to be moments where you need assistance from an older sibling, or God forbid you Google something. And I think that that is actually where the community of Crimson Desert is really going to carry it across the finish line for a lot of people. As I've been reviewing this, I've largely been on my own. There has been a Discord server for us to access like technical support if we have problems with the game or if we have bugs to report and things like that. But we've largely been on our own to figure this out. But I would imagine once the game launches and the community starts helping each other solve puzzles, discover secrets, figure out a cool way to take down this boss or access this castle early, I think this game is going to get elevated to a whole new level. And it seems like Crimson Desert has been designed from the outset with that community-led focus in mind. Specifically, the idea that just like with MMOs, a lot of the coolest secrets and ideas can be found within the community, not necessarily within a tutorial or some guide within the game's menus. In other words, this game is much more Elden Ring than it is like God of War 2018 or Ragnarok. It is not a game like one of those modern third-person adventure Sony exclusives. It is unapologetic in how massive it is and how little it guides you and how it wants you to get lost and figure it out. And that sense of getting lost is why I love it. It makes me feel like a kid figuring out Skyrim for myself for the first time, and I love it for that. That's also why some people are going to be frustrated by it and not connect with it, and that's okay. But that's why I'm trying to tell you this is...
You know, I'm all right with that. I like that. I like that, you know, in this day and age, so many games are just figured out. And it's like the design of so many games has just been boiled down so even the most retarded mouth breathers can figure out how to play the game. Like they paint ladders yellow, so you know, climb here. You know, you hear about that. Like some of these games like put yellow paint everywhere. To literally like color code it. You follow the yellow. It's the yellow. I gotta go this way. Like literally designing the game for the lowest common denominator. And I just think you know, I do kind of miss the days when gaming was, you know, like the internet wasn't like the way it is now, where you can just go to a live stream. Like first the games were like not built for total retards, but also like you didn't have live streams and guides and this, that, and the other, and you had to figure things out. And everything's been so hyper optimized nowadays. It's like people don't even want to figure things out or sink their teeth into a game. They just want like dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit, you know? Let's complete an XP gain. You know, I got a purple drop. That's pretty good. You know, it's like, you're not a fantasy guy, so it all looks the same. Yeah, whatever.
It's not the ultimate everything game where no matter who you are, you're going to love it. Everybody on Earth will think it's a 10 out of 10. As with every game,
this game's not for you, Smelly. This game's not for you.
Strengths and weaknesses. It's not perfect. There are bugs. There are problems that we're going to talk about. But overall, I think the total package is something truly remarkable. And I, for one, really, really love it. And if I could be playing it right now instead of filming this, I would be because I love it. I may or may not have it booted on my computer
explains the hate
right
Lord
now.
Let's
get into the specifics of all of this. The first thing I have to say is that the map of Crimson Desert is
different strokes for different folks.
It truly is massive. I know a story started going around.
Dude, people try like way too hard to like fit. Like people, oh, Lord of the Rings is gay. Bro, who cares? Honestly, whether you like something, don't like something, you know, just form your own fucking opinion. Like, that's the thing. Like, people like, this isn't based. Dude, some things are not based, man. Like, that's like such a like retarded way to look at the interests. Before I decide if I like something, is this based? Get away from me. Like, I don't want to talk to you. It's just, dude, people just, they pull out one chip in their brain. They pull out the little woke libtard chip and they put the Mohecan-based chud chip in. Yeah, I like things. And I don't like other things. Who cares?
Around in the last few days about how Digital Foundry tested the game and they walked from one area of the map to the other and it took them 4 hours to get there. That does not surprise me at all. I would imagine if you're going from one corner of the map to the other corner of the map, it's probably going to take you twice that amount of time. That is if you're walking and exploring and seeking things out to distract you. There seriously is a ridiculous number of little secrets to find, little quests to stumble onto, and the game is pretty well built out to encourage you getting
I need a
lost
controller
like
for this.
that, to encourage that ADHD, ooh, piece of candy mentality. It's also beautiful to boot. It is ridiculously gorgeous with the sheer volume of foliage, the complexity of the geometry they're rendering at any given moment, the sight lines and distance you can see, and it runs all of this quite well at the same time. I've been playing the game through on cinematic quality, and all of the footage you're going to see in this video is at cinematic quality. It's a looker, but even on lower quality settings,
I hope people like this don't bring the system down because they cry.
I wasn't able to get it running on Steam Deck. Every time I would try to boot it, it would crash saying this graphics device is not supported, but I was able to get it running on my Legion Go 2, and I actually played it while I was on an international
Man, this guy needed to put fucking timestamps in his review.
While I was flying over Iceland.
I don't care about Steam Deck.
3 hours into the game, I was introduced to a new system I hadn't seen before. Like, dudes, there is even a bank in the game. There's a bank in the game. If you have a lot of in-game currency and you don't know what to do with it, or maybe you have a gambling addiction and you keep spending money and you're like, I need to put it.
What do you think the devs meant by this? Hey, what do you think the devs meant by this? Hey, walks into the bank, talks to the banker, I'm noticing a pattern here. This seems familiar. I just can't, you know, I've seen this before. I just can't quite place my finger on it. He even has a hat, a little hat too.
Somewhere, or otherwise I'll spend it. There's a bank. You can open a safety deposit box and buy gold bars with currency and silver that you accumulate, and then put that in the bank, and then select a risk profile, just like you're signing up for a 401k, and it will pay out based on the risk tolerance and how your investment does. Like,
what kind of interest rates are we talking about here? What are the interest rates on these investments?
Like, what? It's crazy. There's also countless mysteries to discover, and the way they introduce these is so nonchalant. I love it.
How long before the banker gets kicked out for excessive interest rates?
Stumble onto a puzzle in the middle of a forest.
Man, those Koreans really are just raising the bar. How do you feel about this game now, Smelly? Have you changed your mind?
They don't explain anything. They don't give you a tutorial on how to solve the puzzle. It's just left up to you to figure it out. As an example, you'll stumble on this puzzle, which is just a massive grid with symbols and stuff on it, and they won't tell you what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to progress. Like, it's just up to you to figure it out. And
IQ test. IQ test.
You
guys are gonna fail the IQ test.
Devour this. I think it's awesome. I love
Not
it.
me,
Some
though. I'm gonna one-shot every single test.
Because they're gonna get to the puzzle and be like, what am I supposed to do? They won't tell me.
I'm never gonna be confused on any single
why I
puzzle.
love it. It's just a matter of whether you like these kinds of puzzles where you just look at it and you have to deduce what you're supposed to figure out. And if you love that, you're gonna adore the open world exploration in this game, where you see that and you've got to figure out what you're supposed to do. And when it clicks and you know what you're supposed to do, it's fantastic. But like, I love it. But some people are gonna hate it, and I guarantee you there's gonna be like games journalist memes out the ass with this game of people just being like, they didn't tell me what to do, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, bad game design, when they're just
say it, don't spray it, man. Jeez.
Slow. I said it, okay? I said it. In addition, the production value just across the board is outrageously high. Whether it's motion captured side quests, the graphical fidelity, no matter where you are in the map, the freaking water, dude, looks crazy. Don't get me wrong, this isn't like the Decima engine when it comes to cutscenes, like with Death Stranding 2 or anything, but for an open world adventure sandbox, it's very good. I would say industry leading compared to the likes of other recent contemporary examples like in Assassin's Creed Shadows, for example. There are a bunch of boss fights, combat encounters, and even castle siege battles, which are expansive, and honestly, I don't know how they even got these running.
Damn, bro.
Like, seriously, they will have hundreds and hundreds of enemies being simulated in real time, fighting against your allies who are also being simulated in real time. Like, I'm not joking when I say that some of the stuff they do in this game makes it look like other studios aren't even trying. It's ridiculous. You know, one of the common things that was said about Crimson Desert in the lead up to its launch was this looks too good to be true. There's no way this is real. And that was a fair feeling to have.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, this game is gonna fuck.
Been a game that's been capable of doing all of these things in real time. But they're doing it. It's just built different, dude. It's crazy. The combat is engaging, and while it isn't level-based, it's actually gear-based. I actually really like that about it. Level-based combat systems often lead to situations where you end up grinding some sort of XP or souls or some sort of currency to purchase levels to make your character more powerful and therefore more capable of taking on a particular...
This is a 30-minute long review. You guys can go check it out. I'll be playing this tomorrow at when it launches at 5 p.m. Central. So come hang out. It'll be right back to regular scheduled programming on Friday, the day after, which probably going to be tough because I'm not going to want to prepare for that stream. I'm just going to want to play the game, but I will do what I must. I will do what I must. But anyway, you'll be here. Yeah. You'll be here to fucking A-log the game and fucking rage bait me and just piss me off and spike my quarters all. Okay. All right. I gotcha. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Nick is going live eventually. And yeah, I will catch you guys all tomorrow. And cortisol will be off the charts. Yeah. Least disengagement. Yeah. Good night. Great stream. Thank you. I might even play some Marathon 2 tomorrow. Because tomorrow's just gonna be a full gaming stream, and I know my friends are gonna play, so I'll probably dip into that too. I know you've been asking for Marathon. Good chance I'll be playing Marathon tomorrow as well. So look into that. Emotion. All right, I'll give you guys a little emotion. It's been a minute since we did some emotion. It's been a minute since we did a little emotion. It's been a minute. He hasn't been around. Yeah, he hasn't. Breaking: U.S. officials detected unidentified drones above, just moved, the Washington Army base where Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth live. According to 3 people briefed on the situation, officials have not determined where they came from, 2 of the people said, according to the Washington Post. The drones over Fort McNair prompted officials to weigh relocating Rubio and Hegseth. 2 of the people briefed said the senior administration official said the secretaries haven't moved. Okay. Probably nothing burger. Oh, yeah, so true. Yeah, just another case of, you know what? I'll probably bookmark this for later. Let me bookmark this too. Here's Joe Kent disavowing Nick. In regards to our ally Israel. Well. Can you imagine? Oh, I can imagine. So true. So true. Can you imagine? I still believe he's alive, but can you imagine if he's actually dead? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Nothing's gonna change, but that would be pretty funny. Joe Fent running for Congress. Hennessy Hegseth is top comment tonight. W. All right, boys. All right, GN. Iran would be top dog in your book if true. Well, if it's true that one Indian reporter like doxed Netanyahu's live location, that would just be so fucking funny. I heard that rumor. Again, take it for what it's worth. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Find it. So apparently, again, take this with a grain of salt. Rumor. Not making any substantial claims. But apparently here's this Indian news reporter that was
9 people were killed and
supposedly doxing Netanyahu's live location.
Out here. You could see Netanyahu in fact visiting this particular location out here, and this is the latest that we are picking up in Bet.
Which, like, again,
where, in fact,
you know, even if Iran immediately launched missiles, Israeli detection would pick up on it and they would immediately I mean, you have interceptors, but they would try to get Netanyahu to a bomb shelter immediately, no doubt. Again, I don't think he's dead, but how fucking funny would that be? Another golem. How funny would it be if Netanyahu actually got slimed because some excited Indian reporter live doxed his location? That would be funny. Anyway, good night, everybody. Good night. God bless. I'll see you guys all tomorrow and Friday as well. Take care.